It has been 2 weeks since the Monterey Park mass shooting, and the makeshift memorial outside the Star Ballroom dance studio does continue to grow tonight. People have stopped by the studio on Garvey Avenue to leave flowers, messages of condolences. Some burned incense as a way of paying tribute to the 11 people killed on the first day of Lunar New Year. Now 9 others were hurt. 18 McDonald's restaurants in the San Gabriel Valley have donated a percentage of their profits to charities helping the victims and their families. Now a new California law allows shooting victims' families to sue gun manufacturers for restitution. KCAL News reporter Laurie Perez is live outside Star Ballroom tonight in Monterey Park with details. Laurie.
Well, Leslie, you're right. You know, the memorial here outside Star Ballroom does continue to grow, where you're seeing more flowers and more tributes. And more, we are seeing messages like this one over here that says gun control now, enough is enough. There is a new law here in California addressing gun violence. It will not apply to this case because it appears the shooter got the gun many years ago, but other victims in the future could use it to seek justice. California's new gun law allows private citizens hurt by gun violence to sue gun manufacturers if the companies have violated new state standards. It says companies need to have reasonable controls to prevent improper sales to traffickers, straw purchasers, or sales to people who present a substantial risk of using the weapon for harm. Manufacturers are also required to guard against the loss or theft of gun-related products from wholesalers or retailers. In other words, attorney Min Win says
every one of those folks in the chain of distribution has to take some reasonable control to make sure the gun doesn't fall into the wrong hands. Was there something they could have done reasonably to prevent the gun from getting into his hands?
The question, of course, will be what is reasonable? Rick Travis, legislative director for the California Rifle and Pistol Association, says the law overreaches, and he thinks he knows why.
I think this is part of a larger issue by parts of our legislature and our leadership to specifically go after anything dealing with firearms because they flat out don't want them in the state of California. Wynn,
a gun owner himself and supporter of reasonable gun reform, admits the untested law is an uphill battle, but says
thought of pursuing the gun manufacturer, it's out of frustration that we can't get reasonable gun control in the nation, right? That we all recognize it's a problem and we're all struggling to come up with a solution. And so one solution is trying to make it hurt where it costs most to the manufacturer, which is the bottom line.
Travis has said in the past the law could affect law-abiding gun owners if the threat of liability discourages manufacturers from making legal products available to Californians.
For 10 years, we've been passing the same type of legislation, and yet these tragedies have happened, and we have to say, what are we not doing?
That's one thing both agree on, ironically choosing the same adage to sum up their frustration.
To me, the definition of insanity, like Albert Einstein said, was doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result.
Einstein, I think, said, you know, to do something repeatedly and expect a different outcome, that's the definition of insanity, right? So if you want change, you got to do something. I think what you're seeing is a huge outcry of folks that are fed up with this issue and want something done.
Now, on Tuesday, Brandon Say, the young man who wrestled the gun from the shooter when he left here and went to another ballroom, will be President Biden's guest at the State of the Union address in the nation's capital. He will be there along with Monterey Park's Mayor Henry Lowe, who will be a guest of Senator Alex Padilla. Now, we will carry that live and have reaction and analysis afterwards. For now, we are live in Monterey Park. I'm Laurie Perez, KCAL News. Back to you.